All right. Welcome, Farnoosh, and welcome to an episode that I hope will delve into the strategies that are behind global wealth. And to our audience, I'm your host, Anselm Mendes, and today we are joined by Farnoosh Nassarpour, Regional Vice President at Pan American Life, that is looking at driving the growth and expansion across the Middle East for Pan American Life. Pan American Life, for those of our listeners who are unfamiliar and hopefully get more familiar with the company today, is trusted and has been trusted for more than 110 years to protect what matters most to clients in the high net worth space and using insurance and other strategies as tools. And in our conversation today with Farnoosh, we hope to be able to delve a little deeper into what makes that happen and get an insight into what makes that work. So Farnoosh, first off, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Our pleasure as well. And just a little bit of a dive into that century-old legacy. I mean, 110 years and counting. So how does that translate into the value and benefit for clients and advisors?
Yes, well, I think time in the market is fundamental with any business, but especially with financial services companies and insurance companies. It's not just 110 years of life, it's 110 years of experience, it's 110 years of paying claims, it's 110 years of learning and understanding our client base and developing the best solutions that we can for our customers around the world.
No, I love that. And of course, it's similar to what we at Continental also believe, that being able to sort of provide the experience and of course leverage on the strengths and the pedigree of our partners helps make a stronger proposition that we can bring to the table for our clients.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that Continental has done is also to be able to leverage some of the geographical developments that has happened, especially with the DIFC. So how do you see that panning out? From obviously Pan American being present and having the pedigree and the vintage, to working with Continental and with firms like us that are established in the DIFC and that has a certain set and appeal for clients. How do you view that, and what do you see as the advantages of working with partners like us?
Yes, well, the advantages are many. I would definitely echo what you said about time in the market and experience in the market. Companies like Continental have many years in the market, and it takes a lot to grow and remain strong in the market. It doesn't happen easily, and so we have a great deal of respect for our partners, particularly those that have been in the market a long time. The Middle East, or specifically the DIFC, as a financial center, presents a number of very interesting opportunities which have been leveraged by financial institutions, insurance companies across the globe.
Yep.
As a very attractive route to enter this region. The UAE itself is a fantastic country.
Yeah.
Dubai is an incredible city in terms of the development that it's seen in as a city itself, as well as the other Emirates. But the DIFC itself is a very, very interesting and a very strong positioned opportunity for international financial services, looking to work with partners that are also licensed and regulated through the DIFC Financial Center.
Yeah, and it does give clients a lot of confidence when you have a regulator that's well recognized and is always in the client's court and making sure that the client's interests are protected in that sense.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. We, as a business, only work with licensed partners internationally.
Yeah.
It is obviously important for us to meet with all of the requirements of offering our proposition through partnerships. And yes, the DIFC and the licensing opportunity that it allows in order to be able to work with partners here who are offering their services in and through the DIFC is very interesting for us as a business.
Yeah, perfect, thank you. Let's delve a little more into the proposition and especially the sort of client base that we both cater to, the high net worth segment. So, the private client business, from what I understand, started off in the US and now has expanded not just now, but probably it's expanded. Can you give us a little more context to that? Can you also delve into how you position or how Pan American has positioned itself to serve the needs of the global high net worth client?
Yes, Pan American Life Insurance Group and the company that I represent was founded in the United States as a company seeking to meet the needs of life insurance in the US and in the Americas region. Over the last 114 years, it's expanded its business both in the US and also internationally.
Yeah.
The company has a presence in over 20 countries, predominantly in the Americas region. The high net worth segment is an important market segment for financial services, including insurance. And high net worth insurance is an area that we as a business have been developing. We were one of the pioneers of expanding universal life, index universal life, permanent life insurance propositions into the regions that we knew. Mm-hmm. And the high net worth segment offers very special opportunities for high net worth insurance providers. Namely, you're working with clients that have very different needs, a very set of specific needs that might relate to non-classic needs for insurance. Mm-hmm. Typically, that would be income protection.
Yes.
Wealthier individuals have a variety of needs, predominantly around estate tax planning, yeah, intergenerational wealth transfer, meeting liquidity needs. They have complicated setups, and the need and demand for international life insurance is strong there.
Sure.
The market itself is very strong, and it continues to grow year on year in international markets. And we've, through our private client brand, are seeking to continue to develop and grow our market share in that important segment.
Yeah, and that sort of leads me perfectly into what differentiates. I mean, of course, it's a market that is very attractive and interesting to many insurers and insurance companies and many other market participants. How do you look at your positioning, and what's unique about the way that you've chosen to differentiate the proposition that you've created in this space?
Well, it's a very good question. It's an interesting question. Ultimately, if you go down to the bare bones of many insurance products, yeah, or even financial products, you will find that broadly you end up with a very similar proposition, a life insurance contract.
Yes.
Fundamentally, what makes the differences are how the proposition is developed and how you can change it and what features you can add. And the features that each company adds will be largely dependent on how they developed and how they grew to meet the needs of their market.
Yeah.
And each market being different, each segment being different, cultures being different, needs being different, the approach and view towards life insurance being different, generates different propositions. So those differences are there as well. How I believe we differentiate ourselves as a player is that we're relatively new in the international market beyond the Americas. As such, we're in a position to learn, we're in a position to grow, we benefit from the experience and the roads that have been paved by the insurance industry and insurance companies throughout the years. And we can adapt relatively quickly, yeah, to the environment. We can create different solutions. We can adapt our solutions to better meet the requirements of a segment, and we can also leverage our strengths and our features to offer our proposition to perhaps markets that are underserved in the industry or in the high net worth space.
Yeah. And are you seeing those more either queries come out or more interest coming out from different parts? Especially, I mean, given the context, I mean, if you look at the economic and the geopolitical situation today, there are so many changes that keep happening. There are different aspects of risk that clients are exposed to, and you're seeing all of this pan out and play out in a world that is smaller in a sense because everyone knows everything, and it's increasingly one world in a sense. And How do you then look at the trends that you observe in the space, and then what is the way that you choose to sort of respond to these challenges?
Yes, also it's a very interesting world that we live in. Arguably, it's always been a very interesting world. But yes, we do see lots of turmoil around the world. We have wars, we have economic volatility, we have political changes with governments changing and swinging from one side to the other side. And that does cause instability. There is instability in the world. Instability is part of life, and really something I would argue that products like life insurance and insurance in general were created to mitigate. They exist for a reason. They agree to provide comfort in situations, or peace of mind in situations that would otherwise be causing a lot of stress in life, not knowing what was going to happen tomorrow, either from an economical perspective, political perspective, from a risk perspective. And life insurance can meet those needs and can mitigate those needs and provide some peace of mind.
Yeah. And how do you see that when you look at the MENA region? How do you see that play out in the MENA region?
I think the MENA region itself has been a very interesting region. I myself have been working and living in the region over the last 26 years.
Yeah.
I've seen the market develop incredibly from a very traditional market to a far more sophisticated market with respect to the needs and wants of its consumers and of its residents. There is growing wealth. There is countries like the UAE are attracting wealth from outside, from other countries, and attracting a lot of people to come and choose the UAE as their home. Yeah. They're bringing their families, they're bringing their work, they're bringing their wealth into the country. And that's changed the market and made it a very attractive and a massive opportunity for financial services in all segments, but especially the high mass affluent and high net worth and ultra high net worth segments.
Yeah, and it reminds me of a conversation that we were having. I was having with a couple of people. One is when it came down to the trends that we've witnessed over the past few years. There seem to be a few inflection points. One is obviously this instability within the region, and the other being the way that the country handled the COVID the crisis. Right, I think we're one of the countries that dealt with it the fastest and were able to sort of get back and be business friendly at the same time, and that really brought about a different sort of perception of, I would say, the UAE. With a lot of families and businesses starting to look at both diversifying, expanding, and coming, like you correctly pointed out, to the UAE for the benefits that it offers in terms of safety and stability, as well as a very pro-business mindset.
Absolutely.
So it reminded me of that conversation, and a few inflection points whenever there's regional instability or the way that the stability and security is maintained here. And when we're looking at that and we're seeing that the population is mobile and high net worth population coming in and setting up shop here, are there any other trends or risks that can be addressed through the solutions that we offer that you'd like to talk about?
Yes, absolutely. One of the I think key strengths of universal life as a concept is that it's been very effectively used by clients around the world to not just meet the needs of protecting their assets, protecting their wealth, protecting their families, but also as a means of accumulating growth on their assets, their investments. The ability to be able to combine those two things makes these types of products particularly attractive in markets where you have these mobile individuals that are not just seeking one type of product, but are looking for a complete solution. Nothing can ever be entirely complete,
Sure.
but certainly there are advantages in certain products and solutions that offer not just protection, but also growth, access to the growth or cash value, loan facilities, and other ways that you can access the accounts that you've been paying into for a long period of time.
So that flexibility really is, I think, would you say, fundamental to the way that these find application and use within that framework?
Yes, absolutely. For us, for example, we mentioned what we're able to do and what we're able to see to adapt our proposition to the market to make it more attractive is to be able to look at what is missing in the market. For example, limited access, limited ability to fund a life insurance policy in terms of certain restrictions on how you fund it and how often you can pay in premiums in the case of a life insurance policy, to be able to access it from when you can access it, offering attractive cash value growths to facilitate withdrawals in the future, be it a pension, be it a drawdown to meet the specific requirement you might have, or be it to be able to access a loan facility, for example, through the policy. All of these financial features are important to us to be able to offer through our proposition so that we can continue to provide a solution that we think will be attractive to meet the needs of the growing client base that we see here in the UAE and the wider region.
That's fantastic. And I mean, of course, having dealt with clients and having experience in not just here, but in different marketplaces, I mean, are clients and their needs very similar across that, or do you see differences, or do you see some of the things that maybe they miss out on, and you can pick up because of the experience that you've got working with different types of clients in different geographies?
Yes, absolutely. One of the advantages that we bring is our experience in different markets. As I mentioned, the company is a US founded company and an active also in the US market, which is a very large market. It is a very developed market, but we also operate throughout the Americas, which is Latin America and the Caribbean, and there's a wide range of economies in these markets in terms of their size, in terms of their population, and each one has different regulatory regimes, each one has a different specific need, each one has a different mass affluent segment, a different high net worth segment, and it varies. Fundamentally, the need for insurance, the need for accumulating wealth is there, is universal. However, there are some variances. I find that in certain markets, obviously, the need for insurance has to be sold in a traditional way through advisory. In other, perhaps non-traditional referral partners that are involved in that process, or channels of distribution and channels of sale, where the clients are not going to meet with the agent or the insurance agent as their parents might have. And where in other countries they still do. But they're actually meeting with an advisor, with a wealth manager, with a banker, with a private banker, with a lawyer, with an accountant, or other such professional service provider. And that's something that we see that's different. Plus, I believe through those different channels, you are seeing the product and the product's versatility really shine through, because it's being positioned to meet the different needs based on the expertise of those channels, which is very interesting to see. In the Middle East, you're definitely seeing that trend, whilst the traditional agent model will remain, and it probably holds a dear place in the hearts of the industry, and certainly for life insurance companies. I do see that development of the alternative distribution or delivery of advice to clients in the Middle East, but also to the wider EMEA region and Asia regions.
And there certainly seems to be a lot more awareness amongst clients as well of the applications and the need for planning and for proper planning. And like you correctly pointed out, I think we do see a trend of a lot more professionals in different areas and spaces coming together, collaborating, working with clients to be able to address some of those needs and to fit some of those gaps. So it really is an interesting space and time to be in, I think. When we look at working with partners, and for us, of course, support is probably paramount in terms of one, having the solutions and the products that are required is important, but support tends to score fairly high on the list of things that our teams and partners would like to see. How is it for you? I mean, and what are you doing in that space?
Very interesting question. You yourself, having been in the industry a long time, certainly appreciate the need for good service. Good service is a priority for us. We constantly strive to improve. Insurance companies by nature are old companies, and so as such they would have a long history, but also a lot of our business and a lot of our clients are very long-term clients as well.
Yep.
So what you end up with, if you go back 114 years in our case, you'll end up with systems that have replaced systems that have replaced systems that have replaced systems, and many of them are still operating simultaneously.
Yes.
And so it's a very interesting setup when you look at insurance companies' systems and through which service is ultimately provided. But the work to develop and enhance service is constant. It's constantly developing. It learns from experiences. It needs to meet the needs of international clients.
Yes.
It requires working and perhaps employing service providers and third-party service providers to help enhance that service. But for us, it's fundamental. We want to make sure that we are a company and a business that's easy to do business with, and that our clients can receive the service that they need when they need it.
Sure. And how does that play into, of course, in the high net worth space, in the private client space, you often come across very large and complex cases. And there are needs that aren't as simple to sort of navigate necessarily. And, how do you play a part in that? I mean, do you have resources that you bring to the table? What is your perspective and, the approach to those cases?
Yes, absolutely. Experience, it comes down to, I would say. We have worked to build a team of very experienced individuals operating in the international market or coming from the international market. So individuals with a great deal of expertise and experience gained in multiple markets.
Okay.
That time in market, that experience across different geographies, different cultures,
Yes.
Has honed, if you like, our skills. And having a presence, as I mentioned, in over 20 countries gives us access and exposure to many different types of scenarios, including many complicated ones.
Sure.
Complicated ones that perhaps another company will never ever see. So I believe the experience is fundamental. I believe our experience really gained through our presence internationally and in the markets that we work have really positioned us well to be able to navigate the risks that we see in these markets, which is why ultimately the company feels ready to expand and deliver our proposition to clients in more regions that that it may be suitable for. Yeah. As a business, obviously, we work with a number of different partners, and those partners themselves will have a similar setup as well.
Sure.
And so they would be able to support and lend their expertise also, in addition to our key partners like Continental, that themselves have many years of experience in the market, and also a very, very solid team of experienced individuals managing the service that they provide. Sure. And being able to provide service to clients even in complicated scenarios.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, it is a coming together of experience, of expertise, of different perspectives, and being able to sort of draw on experiences in other emerging markets and other economies certainly makes life easier for both us and for our clients. So that definitely is something to appreciate. One other thing is, around the subject of innovation, and we are seeing so much happen on that front, especially with technology and with some of the other tools that are coming into the fore, AI being another one of those. How do you either utilize these, or what are your plans with regards to, both the tools that are available from an innovation perspective to either innovate on delivering an experience or to innovate on the product side of things?
Well, that's been a fundamental change, I would say, probably from the late 90s to the early 2000s, as we saw the explosion of technology and technology startups around the world. We ourselves, as a business, look to adopt and learn from what we can and what we could adopt to enhance our services as well, to make sure that we're up to date with the market. Technology is obviously very, very important in this day and age, so we've invested quite heavily to enhance our systems, ensure that we have online systems available to our partners so that they can access the information that they need 24 hours a day in real time. Similarly, for our clients to be able to access their information as well online when they need it. There are multiple and constant projects to help enhance the process. As a business, we've looked to work with our partners to introduce new technologies, including AI, specifically one project that we're deploying to employ an AI solution in the underwriting process so that the life insured and their application can be reviewed through an AI underwriter.
Sure.
In order to speed up the process, to introduce strong efficiencies. And over time, the process is constantly developing to speed up that process, to improve connection, to improve communication, and to ensure that we are at the right level when it comes to technology and the services that we can provide to our clients and our partners around the world.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating. I think I've had a little bit of a look at the systems. I must say that we are excited about that, and the flexibility it provides for us to be able to take some of those propositions to our team and our network of partners as well. So I'll keep always looking forward to the new innovations that come across and that Pan American brings to us. Is there a message that you have for either our clients, our partners, or for our team of advisors that you'd like to share?
Yes, I think so. I would like to always share my gratitude to the partners that we have and their interest and their foresight to explore new propositions, new providers. As a very established company internationally, we're very conscious of the fact that we're relatively new to certain markets, and as such, that requires an element of work and an element of trust. An element of generosity with respect to opening up your mind, opening up your time to be able to consider and truly seriously consider the proposition and the value that it might have on your business. So one, I would say the message is one of gratitude to our partners. We're always seeking to enhance communication. I'm also very happy about that line of communication. It's very important to us to speak to the market, to speak to our advisors, to listen to our clients, and to make changes that we can in order to improve the experience that we have. But first and foremost, I would say that I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the time and for the opportunity that we're being given to present ourselves and to work with companies like Continental and with you.
Thank you so much. And I think, to all of our colleagues, I'd like to say Pan American is here. They've got a very interesting and exciting proposition. Do look at it, do give it a shot. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to Farnoosh or to the team. I think they're here to be able to provide you with help and support that is required. With that, thank you, Farnoosh, for taking the time to be with us. We much appreciate it a lot, and let's keep the conversation going.
It's my pleasure, and thank you very much.